Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everybody. This is our fourth episode of season two for Arsenal Fan Circle. And I have my good friend Alex from Cannon Fodder TV. If you have not checked out Alex yet,
Mm.
uh, head on over to Cannon Fodder TV and check them out. Subscribe if you like the content over there. Alex, I'm going to let you get into it because I have a lot to say. I want to see where you're coming from first.
I think both of us have a lot to say. I feel so deflated, and it's like, is there a movie called The Usual Suspects? There is, isn't there, with Kevin Spacey?
Totally.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and
I love
the,
that
Usual-
movie.
the Usual Suspects showed up again. There's an echo, isn't there, Ray?
A little bit of an echo.
Yeah. 1 second. It's gone now, I think. Yeah, yeah. So the Usual Suspects showed up again at the North London Derby.
Yeah,
I did my preview, and I didn't include Shaka for a reason. I did include Guendouzi for a reason, and they were both included. And one did a stellar performance, and the other one again showed us what he is good at doing: errors in the wrong place at the wrong time. It for me. It was a poor performance, a real poor performance. It's a North London derby. I saw a lot of intensity for the first 10 minutes until we gave away that goal there. The midfield needs to give protection to the defense. The defense, no communication, no discipline. The first goal, I'm wondering why was Socrates so far ahead trying to header the ball when Shaka was already there. And then,
it's that
yes,
reminded me of the Crystal Palace game where two players tried to jump for a ball in midfield. One of them a defender.
but Ray, what I don't understand is you've got Socrates, who is an experienced defender, making silly mistakes. Silly mistakes. And then I saw literally when the ball literally went and they got possession of the ball, I saw him running back and then he's pointing to someone and then he realized that actually he was the last defender. I'm thinking, Socrates, you need to take responsibility for defending yourself. Stop pointing. Yeah, you already made the error. Run back, try and get in position, and then they scored the goal. So we're already one goal down in 10 minutes at the Emirates in the North London derby. That's one thing. And then the usual suspect in Granit Xhaka, who, by the way, I feel very sorry for Granit Xhaka. After 3 seasons, Ray, the Premier League is it's just not for him. It's not for him. It's too fast. His brain takes a while to get into motion. He
Hmm.
doesn't have a good awareness of his positional play. I do feel so very sorry for it. So I'm wondering why is it Unai Emery can see it's like Groundhog Day that the same thing is rolled out that he gives away a penalty. Why dive in? Why dive in the area on Song? Now Song is a player who's very agile, but the slightest touch he'll fall over. But unfortunately, this was not the slightest of touches. It was a dive, feet first, a stone cold penalty. So you've got a captain because he's a captain, isn't he? He's one of 4 captains.
Yeah.
It was 5 captains, but Monreal's now gone to Real Sociedad, and I wish him all the best, by the way. So the
Yes.
captain's already put himself and the team under pressure because he's given away a penalty. We've gifted them 2 goals in a North London derby at the Emirates, and
Yes.
then of all players, yeah, Kane. Of course, he's going to score. He's going to score. But then Shaka comes to the rescue and scores a really good goal. That was so Lacazette-esque.
Lacazette. Yeah.
Yeah, Lacazette. I think it was fired in from Pepe on the left hand side,
Yep.
and Lacazette controlled with his right foot, then left foot, and then fired it in with his left foot. But overall, for me, it's again the usual suspects, just rising the head up and showing literally to the coach that they're just not up to scratch. Not up to scratch. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ray. Yeah. Not
The
happy,
weak.
not happy at all.
It's
Because
always the weakest link that get found out. and we have weak links in Socrates and Xhaka.
But what I didn't see, apart from not seeing a clear captain, because we don't have a captain,
No.
someone who's going to organize, communicate with the players, in-game management. Once you have crossed the white line, it's down to the 11 players. There's no captain, someone who can organize the troops, who can rally the troops. That was so apparent for me.
The captaincy has to go to Lacazette. I've been resisting that for a while, but now you have to give it to a player who actually cares, who puts in 100%, is consistent, and is your talisman, and that is
Yeah.
Lacazette.
So you would give it to Lacazette, would you?
Now at this point in time, I've been trying to advocate for defenders and midfielders, but there's no defenders or midfielders in our squad that have that responsibility, can um, carry themselves in a game with consistency, so they can't be pointed out that they're not playing well. Lacazette has that consistency, a level
Yeah.
of performance, fight, and endeavor.
But going to the lack of discipline, I was wondering, isn't Lucas Torreira supposed to be a defensive midfielder?
Yes.
There were so many times he was so far forward, thinking, if one ball was to divert or bypass the midfield, we would be done. Oh, it happened so many times. Lucas Torreira, again, that's what I'm saying to you, that if you've got a captain who can say to Lucas, look, Lucas, no, you're going too far forward, just sit with me, stay with me, let's try and defend or protect the defense. But he was so far forward. Matteo Guendouzi, I guess maybe was around the match because he literally was all over the place. And
Yes.
he got the assist. But again,
A great second half.
you've got to have players, who are disciplined. Stay in your position. Keep the shape of the team. Because if you don't, that's going to be the end result. We were all over the place in the midfield. All over the place. We know the defense cannot defend.
Yes.
And I know literally I'm not wholly blaming the defense. Socrates, Luis, AZ Martinez had a steady game today.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, it was a little bit hit and miss. With Kolasinac, he's got a lot going forward, but not too much, in defense. But the midfield has to give more protection for the defense. The defense is not our strongest point. The attack is. Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
I'm ranting and raving on your
no,
channel.
no. I mean, this is a podcast to rant and rave right now. Before I bring in Gunded News, I had a question actually in my notes. Should we expect a lot more of these results, Alex? Because we know we can score, but we can also concede at high levels.
Yes, I've just finished doing my live stream, and I had said that towards the end that it's going to be a point where we have to try and outscore the opposition. We've got so much going forward, but the reason why I've got so much going forward is because our defense just cannot defend. So yeah, I guess you're right. Expect to see more of these results. Good evening, my brother. Mahir.
Hey, how's it, guys?
Long time, Mahir. How are you? Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay, Mahir, I'm passing the baton to you. Say in a very calmly and deliberate way, summarize that game.
Wow. Really, what can I say about the game? A lot of attack. We had chances to actually capitalize on them being at their weakest, missing somebody like Ndombele. And you could see, quite frankly, it was quite strong with the way we played. There was passion. There was a lot of attack with. I mean, Pepe is freakishly fast, for example, freakishly fast. And I just feel with the subs, same like Liverpool, the wrong subs, man. Like, yes, I understand.
The wrong midfield to
Torreira,
start with.
Torreira should have been on the field with Ceballos.
Yeah.
Xhaka should have been off the field. Because the link up play, I mean, everything, I could see a fight. So I'm really not that angry, but I feel like we really could have capitalized and made it 3-2 or 4-2, same like last season.
Hmm. But you know what, my here, and it's not so much. It's like it's hindsight about Shaka. We've seen it for a long time that Shaka, he's so error prone. He's so error prone, and he makes silly errors in the wrong places.
To be honest with you, Jacques has never been good enough.
No.
If I could get him on a, if I could personally transport him to whatever club in the world, even on a free, I would do it tonight. Tonight.
Please do it, my here.
Let me just get myself ready and pack a bag and phone him and personally swear him off first. And secondly, tell him he's never been good enough and he's been a panic buy. And I think we'll travel in the early hours of the morning. So,
All right. I
yeah,
know the host is not supposed to say too much and is supposed to just control the conversation, but I'm really furious and I need to have my say about what happened today.
please.
And you don't see me furious, Alex.
No, no, no.
We looked at this game today as to, we have an international break coming up, so this is going to hurt for 2 weeks. So to get anything other than a win was a terrible result for me. I know we came back from being 2-0 down, but we should not have been in that position in the start to begin with. Again, shades of defending, which is terrible. Two players in midfield rise for the ball. The ball gets flicked on, it goes to Son. He twists our defenders inside out. They start switching off of their players, and we're all out of shape at that point. The ball gets played to Kane, and Leno, he's got to do better for that as well on that shot, for me.
I don't
And
think so.
Socrates does not track the player. Ericsson has an open goal.
That's my main.
Second, the
That's
main
my
issue. Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. The
That's something.
second one is a horrendous mistake from Xhaka, tackling in the box like that. He did that at Crystal Palace away from home, and he did something tantamount to heresy, for lack of better words. I'm so furious at the Brighton game last year where we were both at that game, Alex, and a terrible mistake for a penalty given away, and he does that too many times, too many times, and we are sitting in fifth place now. We have 7 points out of a possible 12, and I think things are going to be more difficult as we go on through this season. Our fixture list is terrible in December, especially. So we need to make some ground up. But I do commend the team for the fight back. Lacazette, our talisman, we've already talked about possibly he should be the captain. But all of this stems from midfield with the coach is tied at the hips to Granit Xhaka. He's
He's
Alex.
actually happy now.
Alex, the coach is too much in bed with Granit Xhaka. He favors him too much over Willock and Ceballos. And this midfield was not set up correctly, especially Torreira being played out of position, Xhaka not playing well. And when Ceballos came on, Alex, he transformed the game.
Yeah. Again, I did it in my post match review that the moment Ceballos came on the pitch, in less than 5 minutes, he was twisting and turning, always trying to play the ball forward. He had a shot on goal. I mean, it was a regulation save for Loris, but again, it begs the question: why not play Danny Ceballos from the start? If he tires, then there's a case to be taken off. But in a North London derby, you want to go for the throat. You want to remind Spurs that this is our house. When you come here, you're going to go through hellfire. But why not play Danny Ceballos? That's one thing. The other thing is, Ray and Mahir, is that we know that the defense cannot defend. If it looks like a duck and it sounds like a duck, it's a duck. It cannot defend. That's the bottom line. What I'm disappointed in is, I think for me, Pepe needs to give us a lot more. All the drag backs and nutmegs looks really nice, but he needs to be doing that more, in the penalty area. I want to see an end product. There's so many times he had the
Yeah.
header that really he should have scored. The shot when he came in on the right hand, he needs to give us more end product. It's 72 million.
Yeah.
72 million pounds.
And Mahir, at some point, that's going to weigh heavily on him.
At some point,
Yeah.
it definitely. Look, I've spoken to also Gunners after the match, and they've basically told me that with all the chances, I mean, I think there was a point blank chance that one of our strikers was, I think it was Pepe, if I'm not mistaken, but we had a lot of chances to just have that finishing edge, and it just wasn't there. A
Yeah.
lot of close opportunities.
Mahir, they played a lot of frustrating tactics, slow throw-ins, niggly fouling. Uh, what did you think of how the referee officiated the game? He did pretty well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, third goal, for example, I jumped up out of my seat. I thought that was
VAR has come to the Arsenal fan base.
VAR. What is VAR? And then they basically used, but in these circumstances, it was used well. But it sometimes takes the oomph out of a game, the boost, where you'll be given you on a run of form, and then all of a sudden it's cut off, and that time doesn't get added on later on. And I mean, by
I
then
can
the
see,
opportunity.
I can see Alex wants to jump in on that VAR point.
I hate VAR. I hate it. Because at the end of the day, you've got three people somewhere, away from the game
Anonymous people.
who are in have to use the personal interpretation of what is a foul or what is a penalty and what is not a penalty. There was a foul on Aubameyang from Davinson Sanchez. That was a penalty.
Yes.
There was a clear push in the penalty, but they didn't review it. I hate VAR because if you're
It's all,
saying to me that there still has to be a human element in it, then you might as well just forget about VAR because you have the referee there who can use his personal human discretion on whether it's a penalty or not. There's no point. For me, there's no point in having VAR. I can't stand it. So
Ray and I were speaking pre-game about this. We're talking about the human aspect of, there's no entertainment-wise. Like we prefer to be slating a referee or saying this decision didn't go out that way, this way, that way. But any decision that's being made, yellow cards, cynical fouls, penalties, we prefer it that way than to stop a game, look at a screen,
yeah,
2 3 minutes, and by then the run of form that you're having, or like say for instance, you're constantly attacking, at which point we were doing, and then they should stop it for something like that, and it's like it takes away the boost that you're on, and it slows the game down.
Momentum, the flow of the game. Alex, how about Harry Kane? Why is there not retrospective yellow cards or action against Harry Kane?
again, I think exactly the same thing on my live stream just a moment ago. That you can see now. I mean, even with the Newcastle penalty, that was not a penalty.
Yep.
He's waiting for the contact. He's waiting for the defender or whoever to come into him, and then he's putting his body in front so he can feel the contact and fall over. Now there was a situation that happened again today, but the referee gave it
Yeah.
a free kick. But then
Mhm.
why didn't Harry Kane? Why wasn't he given a yellow card? Why wasn't
Exactly.
he given a yellow card?
Exactly. If VAR is to be used for the betterment of the game, that's just all fine. We all know players do this outside of the box. They gain free kicks, this and that. But to do this in the penalty, you're clearly trying to deceive the officials.
Yeah, but Ray is notorious for doing that.
Yes.
He's notorious for doing that action, the simulation there. So again, why was he not given a yellow card? I just
And is he
I hate, I
gaining a
hate
rep?
VAR.
Is he gaining a reputation, Alex, with referees now?
Mm. Yeah. I hate VAR. I'm sorry. I hate it. I'm
Is he
sorry.
still is he still the England captain, Alex?
Let me check. Give me a moment. He shouldn't be.
Brilliant. Do you
No,
guys
but
know that sometimes referees are very biased because they actually support those clubs that
Yeah,
our opposition are,
yeah.
like, say for instance, the shit. We call them the shit because a lot of poop emojis are put in when we're doing previews and reviews of games versus those guys. But they tend to be very biased and give decisions. Oh no, he's an England captain, or oh no, he's England's golden boy, for example, with Harry Kane. And it's just unfortunate, man. Like, I hate that referees are that way, but I would prefer for them to be making mistakes and provide us with um to give us for us to give them analysis, not
Yeah,
VAR. In
yeah,
you're saying
yeah,
VAR is
yeah,
absolute rubbish.
yeah.
Alex will never know. But just before the end of the first half, there was a potential handball in the box, and the play continued and resulted in Lacazette scoring a fantastic goal. But would you have any faith in VAR calling back to what happened in that box with Danny Rose? Did you have any confidence that it would go back to that point?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like I said, I mean, if you're going to have the human element to interpret, what's happened in the, in the moment, then just leave it up to the referee to make the decision. Make the decision by the referee rather than having VAR. Like Mahir says, it stops the momentum. It breaks up play because we needed to have the momentum. We need to be, starting on the front foot, which we did for the first 9
We
minutes.
were
But
attacking
have
them
VAR, it does break up the
much.
momentum.
Yeah, I have
We were
extensive
attacking
notes here, and it's right before his son did that. I was saying good tempo to the game,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and we started brightly, played very well, but then succumbed to that sucker punch that we always do.
But did we not have chances before they scored a goal, Ray?
Yeah, yeah. Ainsley Maitland-Niles had the great shot that was cleared off the
that.
line by Harry Kane
Ah, yeah.
after 5 minutes. Um, and then Leno was playing out from the back. Oh yes, my notes are Leno playing out to Kolasinac? Question mark. Should we be doing this? Playing out from the back again.
Yeah, but but to me, Tottenham are not Liverpool. You know what you get with
Right.
Liverpool? They will put pressure on
Yeah.
our back defense. Tottenham are not like that, so I didn't have no problems with us playing out from the back. I mean, they didn't put so much pressure on us, did they?
No.
Nah.
So
No.
again, it's for Unai Emery to not continue demanding the defense to play out from the back because it puts pressure on us. And I still don't think we have the players who are comfortable in playing the ball out from the back. But today, I didn't have too much problems with
No.
us
No.
playing the ball out from the back. I didn't see too much problem in that really. I
But
know.
definitely the issue we take with this game, and I take, is that Unai Emery set up midfield incorrectly.
Yeah.
And
Bridget,
when is he going to learn, Mahir?
look, I'm not at all with anybody that says Emery out because
Yeah.
it's he's
Yeah.
had one good season. He's had two windows, and with no Champions League, it's very highly unlikely that you're going to get the likes of a Upamecano and a Koulibaly and those top players who want to be playing in a side not only rebuilding, because I mean we can still get top quality players, but in order to get the quality players we need, the kind of players which are the two quality centre backs and like the Ramsey replacement, who I'm sure we're missing right now, but like hopefully Ceballos can fill in that role and removing still somebody like Granit Xhaka, for example, who's never been good enough. One of Wenger's base panic buys, base panic buys. Um,
He paid
even
good money for him, Mahir. 30
Ray,
million.
Ray, Even like to Richard, you can't play somebody inexperienced as Guendouzi, who's a future star. Yes, who tends to be one to run at defense, run at the opposition's defense. You can't have him and Xhaka and Torreira and expect
Yeah,
that midfield is going to be controlled. I would say if you can see somebody's Luca from Arsenal Vlogs is saying Xhaka out. I said start Ceballos, Torreira, Willock, which we were saying from the start. I
Yep.
think Pepe will do better, but he did not have the best game. But why take Lacazette off on when we need the hold-up play that's so crucial? He did the same thing he did in Liverpool, Richard.
Okay, so
Why?
no, but
Lacazette
Lacazette was
had
injured.
an injury,
Yeah, that's why he was taken
Oh,
off. He had an injury. Yeah,
okay,
and he
okay.
gestured to the bench to come off.
Okay, but
yeah.
I'm still saying, why not? I say, hopefully in January when we have our next transfer window, to find somebody that can play in a pivot with Torreira and the Ceballos in the number 10. And then I don't know if Ozil is still going to be around. There's rumors of him going to the MLS. But Richard, do
Mm.
you
There's only one
Ray and I,
more day.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's got
Ray and
24 hours.
I, you never know, eh? Richard, Ray and I actually discussed this.
Alex,
Could you have Ozil and Ceballos playing in a midfield together?
The way I see it, my here, is that people have been asking for Upamecano to come in. They want Saliba to come to be in the squad. They want Tierney. They want Bellerin. But unless Una Emery plays them in the right position, we're going to get the same result. We're going to get the same
Because,
result. Why did
yeah,
he not play? Why did he not start Ceballos? Ceballos is fit.
great
it's
question.
reasonable, but at the same time, you
It's
can't play Emery.
unforgivable. It's unforgivable.
It
This
is.
this is a blot on Emery's book for this season so far.
Yep, major block, major. But
And I
my
can understand what he did at Liverpool, but this is unforgivable for this
Absolutely.
game.
Even the Burnley game. Look how Ceballos played. He's showing you his quality. Why are
Yeah.
you not playing him, Unai Emery? Why are you not playing him?
Emery, if you don't like, I spoke to my cousin who's also a huge gooner. His name is Tahir. So Tahir basically said to me also, should we still keep Emery even though he's making all these absolutely putrid decisions? Where's his ruthlessness been? Like taking off somebody at halftime and having somebody like, for example, like the Welsh who we're missing, but like bring him on and there's an immediate impact. You can see it. With what he's done with Ceballos and Lacazette, he's taken Lacazette off and bringing on like a Ceballos, taking off Torreira and bringing on. I don't understand these substitutions, like or what he's thinking right
Well,
now, though.
Alex, can you take that question on the screen from Rising 101? And thank you to everybody in the chats.
Will Emery lose his job playing Shaka constantly?
And not only is he playing Xhaka consistently, but Xhaka is playing inconsistently or consistently Xhaka.
Exactly. Shaka's playing consistently bad.
Bad, yeah.
A high level of consistency from Xhaka today.
I would hope that one player power, doesn't lose the coach's job. I hope it's going to be like a collective amount of incidences which will, maybe, well, I don't know, maybe, but
Well,
will come to an end
we've
to
had two
in
today.
return. I hope it's not one player that causes him to lose his job. I just want him to see, to wake up to the realization that, Granit Xhaka, he's showing you Unai Emery, how he plays. Please believe in him. Don't play him. Don't play
Don't
him,
play.
Unai Emery. He's showing you that he's not good enough.
Yes, yes.
It looks like a duck.
And
It looks like a duck. It's a duck.
you used to
Come on.
say if you're good enough, you're old enough. But now, if you're showing that level of inconsistency,
It's
he
time to
should
go.
be on the subs bench.
Absolutely. He's a squad player at most. He should
At
not
most.
be in the starting 11. He's a squad player. A squad player. And
Never
I
been
What
mean,
good.
who are the other captains at Arsenal? Monreal was one of them, but he's gone.
I've lost track.
Shaka's one.
Ozil,
Ozil, and who were the other two captains?
Socrates, let's say.
Okay, and one more. Sorry, Ray.
Listen, Alex, you know that I justified it last season, but I cannot justify it this season. Don't ask me to help Emery out or explain his actions when it comes to the captains.
Yeah, listen, everyone's watching out there. Make sure if you know Unai Emery, get him onto Arsenal fan circle. We'll question him then.
Smash the likes, everybody. Smash the like button.
Yeah, there
Thanks
you go.
to Arsenal Vlogs, London Old School, Gunnar Glenn, Rising 101, and Ugandan Knuckles for coming in.
Yeah, love the support.
All right, Alex, London Old School. Evening, guys. Not happy when I see Jacques on the team. I was shocked. Starting to question Emery's tactical awareness.
I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked. I did my starting 11 in my preview, but I said that expect to see Granit Xhaka
Yeah,
starting in the
yes,
11,
I
and
did
lo and
see that.
behold, we saw Xhaka chosen. I got my part of my wish because I wanted to see Aubameyang, Laka, and Pepe starting, but yeah, it has to be a supporting cast. There has to be goals from the midfield. You can't leave it up to
Yeah.
I love
Lacazette
that.
and Aubameyang scoring the goals. The goals have to come from the midfield as well. You
Yeah,
know,
we've talked about that extensively, Alex. We would
absolutely.
like to see goals coming from midfield. I believe Willock has that in his locker, but he needs to know that he can play every week. I think
Yeah.
you're stunting the growth of Willock
Why
by
was
not
he dropped?
playing him every week.
Why was he dropped?
Exactly.
We
Why
were,
was he dropped?
we were actually saying rather have a midfield of a Torreira, Ceballos, and Willock because Willock is showing fight as a youngster. I'm loving what I'm seeing from this youngster. I'm loving the fact that Emery has brought him to try and integrate him as a youngster into the first team. And he's been showing us. So why would you drop him instead? And I mean, unless there's a love affair between him and between our coach and Granit Xhaka, which we've said he's terribly,
They
he's
wink at
terribly.
each other on the
Mahir,
training
Mahir,
ground.
this is a family program.
They wink at each other at the training grounds and shake hands firmly. This is a family show. Keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
Yeah, no, like this shouldn't be copyrighted or striked for anything because of that. I apologize, YouTube. I'll hold my hands up and say I meant it in a good way. I meant
But
it in a good way.
seriously, Alex, to analyze this tactically, we had a midfield who was set up defensively and could not connect with our forwards.
Hmm. I had James Rowe on my channel on Friday, and he was saying that from what he can see from Shaka is trying too hard. He's just trying too hard. In the Liverpool game, he was getting in the way of his midfield colleagues, but Shaka is trying too hard. And I think Unai Emery, it's unfair for you to play a player who's out of sorts.
Yeah.
You're putting so much pressure on Granit Xhaka, and for me, just give him some time, drop him for a couple of matches. Play Willock, play Ceballos, play Torreira in the midfield. Give the attacking force some support. Again, we know the defense; they just cannot defend. But give the support for the midfield, but drop Granit Xhaka. I'm begging you. It's getting to the point where I'm beginning to feel very sorry for Granit Xhaka because I'm scared that literally every match or every other match, he's going to make a silly mistake and gift a goal to the opposition. He's
Alex,
under
if I'm
pressure.
not mistaken,
Hmm?
sorry to interrupt you. I don't mean to be rude of any kind. But if I'm not mistaken, Granit Xhaka has made the most fouls as a midfielder in the whole entire league. That's led to goals
Yes. And he's
last
just
season,
added to that stat.
4 games, and like he's just added, like they said, he's just added on extra, and he's not the type of player that is a scapegoat, but he shows like I'm getting him in a taxi, car, plane, whatever it needs to be, and getting him the hell out of our club because I mean, even though we don't have options, we actually do have options. We've got Joe Willock.
But my here, the thing is, Unai Emery comes with like a tag of being a coach who's very meticulous in his planning. So I'm thinking, why would you play a player who would give you so many errors? Why would you constantly play him instead of Willock, who's now in the first team in the first season? Why would you not play those players? Ceballos, Torreira, and Willock in the middle. Why are you constantly playing a player who's going to guarantee you one silly mistake? Why is he doing that?
And it's a critical error, not a silly mistake, but a
Absolutely.
critical error that leads to us losing. That
Points.
one silly thing leads to a penalty or a free kick, that a set piece that's being taken that goes into the box, scramble, boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Opposition are 1-0 up, 2-0 up, 3-0 up. And literally, we are part of a Guna group where people have. I just looked at the score and it said they 2-0. Game over. Bunch of clowns. I was like, my guy, is this really our expectations these days that some Gunas think after like that that's capitulation, that's done and dusted after 2-0?
And the thing is,
Crazy.
my here, I mean, what are the other players thinking when they see Granit Xhaka? His name is on the sheet,
And he's the captain.
and he's the captain. Yeah, but what are they thinking? What are they thinking?
Like,
I don't think Torreira's thinking anything nice.
maybe Torreira, right? Maybe Torreira should slide tackle Xhaka, and I don't wish bad on any of our players, but
Yeah.
like, like, yeah, okay, I just slid you, so let me just tell you, you're not good enough, and you can make your way up there. Like,
Okay, Alex, I have a question there from Rising 101. Video analysis doesn't give Emery any worries about Xhaka, apparently, although stats show Xhaka to be good.
Really?
Yeah,
yeah, I also saw somebody was saying if you actually look at Granit Xhaka's stats, it shows that he's a good midfielder because he's won a lot of, he's got a lot of possession under his belt, a lot of, but it's mostly backwards and sideways passing, nonetheless,
right.
and his ball retention stats and all of these, all of these things. But stats can lie. I
Of course
mean,
they can. Of course they
they
can.
may be like, oh, he's a good midfielder, but we as Gunners, when we analyze, we can clearly see this is this is not one of those things
Can
where
I,
we can put.
let me throw it back to Ryzen 101. Ryzen 101. Do you think we can we not upgrade on Granit Xhaka? Do we not have a player better than Granit Xhaka? Answer that question for me, Ryzen 101. Because for me, clearly we have players who can play a lot better than Granit Xhaka, who's
Yeah.
not going to constantly giving you errors, giving you heart attacks. And you're going to worry, oh my goodness, he's got the ball. Is he going to make an error?
And I'm
So
not sure if the question is worded sarcastically, especially the word apparently.
no, I know. Yeah, yeah, I can see he's not being sarcastic, but again,
Possibly being sarcastic.
maybe you can ask him, Ray. But
Rising 101. Okay, so here we go.
yeah,
Although only for right.
absolutely.
So I think he's pretty much Rising 101 is making the same point that you are, Alex. I think
Yeah,
that stats and you, Mahir, stats can lie. And I've seen stats that compared Mustafi to the best in the league as well.
mm.
So
It's all
stats
right.
can lie. Do lie. Gunnar Glenn, our forward line will be thinking it's a long day at the office with Xhaka in the team. Yes, they're not getting anything to them. Absolutely, great point. There is no creativity in midfield. You have Guendouzi, who is ostensibly a ball carrier, and you have Torreira and Xhaka, who are ball winners. And Xhaka can pass the ball a little bit, but there's no real creativity in there, Alex.
Glenn, my argument is, if we had a strong captain in the midfield or in the defense, just saying to these guys, look, no matter what happens, they're not going to get past us. So many times I saw Torreira so far forward. He was a few times he was ahead of Pepe on the right hand side. I'm thinking, if I was the captain, I would say to Torreira, listen, you're supposed to be a defensive midfielder. Stay with me. Let's sit deep and defend the defense, because the defense can't defend. So they're already lacking, any kind of discipline there. There's no captain who's strong enough who can say to his players, let's defend, let's sit and defend. They're not going to get past. We already know that our attacking force is better than most in the Premier League. Let's leave it up to them, but let's make sure that nobody gets past us. But there was no discipline there. Guendouzi was all over the place. It was all over the place. The defense
That's
can't defend.
That's why personally we were saying, if you're gonna choose the captain, right? One captain, well, not this rubbish five captain rules. I mean, seriously, who even does that? No, I'm not talking
Emery.
about even small teams like a Swansea or anybody. But where on earth are you gonna get a team in the world with five captains? And we chose the captain, Alex. We chose the captain, Lacazette or Socrates. If you're going forward, somebody like Lacazette who can shout at the guys and say, listen here, like you said, let the midfielders sit deep. Torreira, listen, you and Ceballos sit and chill, or you and Xhaka sit and chill. Don't be bombing. You're saying, I also saw it multiple times. They're so far forward, and then by the time Sun gets the ball in a free area, they win it in midfield. These guys are free at goal, and I'm panic. I was literally
Exactly.
having a heart attack saying, just cut out the threat immediately.
Yeah.
Now Sun 1-on-3, but he's actually beating all three members to go through on and maybe even take a shot at goal or provide for Kane or whoever. But cut out that aspect that gives us a heart attack.
But here,
I'm
that's what
sure
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
he's
It was
aware.
it was the lack of discipline in the midfield. There was no discipline
Total
in
lack.
the midfield. Torreira was too far forward. He's supposed to be a sitting, a central midfielder, a defensive midfielder, not an attacking midfielder. So if he's out of position, it's going to take only one ball to pass through, and
One
there'll be
ball.
an goal. And that's what happened so many times. There was a lack of discipline. There was no communication in the midfield. Nothing at all.
Nothing at all, at all, at all.
Alex, we have a comment in the from Ryzen 101, which is a point that I wanted to bring to
Hmm.
you. Are we going to be? We can see how we're going to be so much better with
Ooh.
fit fullbacks. Emery's lineup would have made sense if he had Bellerin and Tierney offering creativity. Also, Torreira going high up is Emery's instructions. So
Yeah,
Tierney and Bellerin back in the team.
I was thinking about that. Is that going to solve our problems when we have Bellerin back and Tierney back? I really don't know. I don't know. I think the whole defense needs to be revamped.
We have, in my opinion, we have midfielders who don't like to get chalk on their studs.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to mention anybody's name.
They're very, very
Shaka.
compact.
Oh, yeah, but Ray, like again, I think I'm just so old school that I want Arsenal to be set up that we're difficult to break down. That's how George Graham, set up the defense and the midfield.
Yeah.
We were difficult to break down. Forget about all this, tiki-taka football, glitz and glamour up front. We have to stop leaking goals at the back, and that's something that Unai Emery and his coaching staff has to solve. And I'm not sure when Bellerin comes back and when Tierney comes in, if these two players are going to solve our problems, because the midfield has to be more difficult to break down, more disciplined, and they're
Hmm.
not disciplined enough.
No,
And I go
no.
back again to having a captain who can say, look, just sit with me. Let's be more structured. Let's be more disciplined. Let the attack deal with what they have to deal with, but we're going to make sure that we're going to be difficult to break down. We're going to go in hard. We're going to not give them any space, because in the midfield, it was a free for all.
I, I have some, Alex, I have some hope for you, and I know you have to go soon. I
Yep.
have some hope for you, and the point that the coinciding is the fifth captain coming back to full fitness is Rob Holding,
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And I know Emery has said he wants to be an English player, and I think the timing is perfect. Monreal has left. Now Holding can step into that fifth captaincy role, and
But like my here says, it's just silly to have 5 designated captains. Only one and one vice captain.
it
That
is,
is
it is, it is the situation. But if we're looking to a captain to be a leader, I think Holding can be that person. And
yeah.
finally, Alex, is this in the cold light of day? Maybe now is this 2 points lost or 1 point gained? Are you thinking
Without
now? And
without
what would you think of the
without
week?
a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. I know, again, hindsight is a wonderful thing after, being wise after the event. But when I looked at the first 10 minutes, how we played, I'm thinking, why didn't we play like that against Liverpool? Why did we not play like that against Liverpool?
With the tempo?
Inviting the pressure on us, on the defense with players who can't or who are too scared to play the ball from the back. But yeah, I mean, I guess Unai Emery has a lot of homework to do. We've got 2 weeks, of the international break now, and I'm going to be grinding my teeth, climbing the wall.
Is Emery too into tactics?
Say again?
To the detriment of the team, is he too involved in
I
tactics?
think so. I think so. I think the first season, the way he set up, trying to put pressure, the Liverpool way, putting pressure on the opposition, trying to, get possession of the ball back. He started so well. I mean, we're on a 22, game unbeaten run, and then only to tail off. And I'm thinking, where's that gone? Beginning of the season, where's the pressure? We haven't put any pressure. We're inviting pressure on us, but we're giving the opposition so much space. I don't want to see that for Arsenal. I don't. And like I said, Unai Emery has a lot of homework to do. Him and his
Yeah.
coaching staff, and he's got 2 weeks to come back stronger and more wiser. Will he do that? Guys,
We
expect to see more of Shaka in the midfield. Expect to see more of him in the midfield.
And I'll leave you with this point. I know you got to go. I'll leave you with this point that he's getting talked about like Ranieri as a tinkerer. He's tinkering with systems. We don't want to see that in the media, and he
Yeah, but you
shouldn't
know
see it.
what, Ray? Am I here? Before I go, I just want to make this point. From a technical point of view, when you tinker, if I had to play Arsenal, I would be scared because I've been wondering what Arsenal is going to turn up. How should I set up my team to play against Arsenal? So on that point, it's good because you keep the opposition on their toes because you know what you don't know what kind of Arsenal's going to turn up. But on Arsenal side, as players, you want to be able to get into a rhythm, understand how David Luiz plays. Let's work on the communication. Let's work on how we play together. So on one side, it's positive on opposition, but having Arsenal, you want players to be familiar how we play as a team, and there is no rhythm. There's no rhythm because he keeps changing the team.
Yeah.
Guys, I've got to go. I've got to go.
Uh,
I've got to go.
we're trying to tie in comments with the flow of our conversation. So rising in 101 says, let the team build chemistry, and I think that's very true.
Yeah.
But with Tierney coming, we have some players that are gelling into the team. And listen, Alex, I'm going to let you go at this point. I know you're being respectful, but you do have to go.
Yeah, I'm being called. My here,
Alex,
brother.
we just want to thank you for coming on the show once again. We love having you on.
Thank
And
you.
like I say, guys, when you're watching this on the rerun, whatever the case may be, join Alex's team as well at Team Fodder TV and follow him and his brother as they have fantastic content. And like I say, we're all supporting each other because we're all family, we're all brothers, we're all goodness.
And once again, nobody predicted the correct score once again. We're terrible at this.
Guys, have a good evening, Ray. Thank Ray and Mahir. Thank you for having me back on to Arsenal Fan Circle. And like you say, make sure all your subscribers on both channels go over and join in the channel challenge prediction.
Collaboration.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go, guys. Up the Arsenal.
Okay.
Take it easy. See you later. Till next
Uh,
Friday.
yeah,
Okay. Thanks, Alex.
always good to have Cannon Fodder on TV, Cannon Fodder TV on with us. And
Oh,
really loving the comments in here from Ryzen 101, Gunnar
yeah.
Glenn, of course, London Old School, and Luca at Arsenal Vlogs. Um, so I'm out here, cold light of day. Is this 1 point gained or 2 points dropped? How do you feel now? And will you feel different later?
Look, I'm not angry. Because I mean, from 2-0, from two when we were 2-0 down, basically, I thought to myself, okay, but I have a feeling Lacazette or Aubameyang will score. And I have a feeling of we said Pepe, with love for him and for David Luiz to make have redemption, although he didn't play badly. The only thing is they didn't cut out threats early enough. They were given the Spurs they were given too many chances when it came to going through one on goal or beating 1-on-3 and still being able to beat our defenders. I mean, they weren't cutting it out enough because of our midfield lacking, totally lacking, slacking.
We talked about this in the pregame show. We cannot have Xhaka in the team, and lo and behold, we were right.
As per usual,
When is Emery going to see this?
as
I
per
don't know.
usual.
I don't know when Emery is going to see this.
Look, I hate these people that say Emery out because surely Emery is just making putrid subs and he's making lineups that make absolutely no sense. Because I mean, we can see it, man. Like it's so tiring. It's exhausting. It's exhausting, really.
Yes, indeed. Um,
Okay.
so where do we go from here? Well, I'll tell you what. We take a 2 week break and we come back to Watford away from home, Eintracht Frankfurt, Nottingham Forest, and then Manchester United away from home. Oh, Aston Villa's in there too. Our only home game next month or this month is Aston Villa on the 14th.
Ray, I wanted to ask you, Nottingham Forest, is that a FA Cup game or a Carabao
That
Cup
is
game?
the Carabao Cup game, and we have in a weird twist of fate, we have Carl Jenkinson coming back.
Well, he's respected. He's respected. Living every fan's dream. Wouldn't you and I love to be playing alongside each other in the strike force that is at the Arsenal? I mean, imagine that.
Yeah.
Rosie and Podolski.
Let's. I think we should go through the team and rate how they played. What did you think of Bernd Leno?
Burnley didn't have much to do. I would go with a 7. Made some good saves. Some fantastic saves. Sorry, two at least. Two fantastic saves. What is your rating?
I would give him a 5.5. I didn't think that I would give him a 5.5 or a 6. I didn't think he did very well for the first shot on goal. He's usually more safe, and he spilled another ball as well in the first half out to the sides, which could have cost us as well. Didn't get anywhere for the penalty as well. He
Okay,
looks,
so our
you
play rating. Burnley.
Kane plays all of the penalties into that corner.
Yeah. So our rating for Burnley from Raymond and myself, the host and co-host, is 6 out of 10 for Burnley.
6 out of 10. Ainsley
Yeah.
Maitland-Niles,
4. I'm
4.
sorry, he got torn quite a few times, as we discussed.
I actually thought he had a good game. I mean, this is great when people on the panel argue with these things. It's very good for a rating. So, yeah, I thought Ainsley Maitland-Niles had a good game. Didn't wasn't at fault for any of the goals or any major mistakes. I thought he had a good game. On the other side, Kolasinac.
Okay, so what is your rating for What is your rating for
I would give Maitland Niles 7 out of 10. And to be fair, I'll talk about Kolasinac next. I would give Kolasinac 7 out of 10 also. I thought he did quite well um, coming back, trying to come back into the team, and he knows he's competing against Tierney. So I thought he did quite well. I'd give him 7 out of 10.
Okay, I would have to agree with you on that one. 7 out of 10. He
I
didn't do too
thought
much.
I thought I'm going to take the two defenders, then you can take the two defenders. I thought David Luiz had quite a decent composed game, apart from the chaos that was going on in the first half between him and Socrates. It seems like they weren't able to communicate very well. He got twisted very badly for Son for the first goal, and I think Socrates had one of his harebrained games where he just sort of loses the sense of himself a little bit. I would give Louise a 7.5 out of 10, and Socrates 6 out of 10.
Yes, I agree with you. Absolutely, 100%. David Luiz was he was composed. Didn't do too much wrong. On the other hand, Socrates did get spun up, unfortunately, and didn't do too well. Like he was just a little bit above average for the six. Yeah,
Granit Xhaka, who wants to start?
you can start.
Granit Xhaka, he's consistently inconsistent. He gives up points. We lose points through him at various points in the season, and we did it again. We lost, in my opinion, we lost 2 points because of Granit Xhaka today. And people complain, why do people pick on Granit Xhaka? That he's decent, this and that, but he is not. He's not of the required standard. I'm hoping that Unai Emery sees that much the same way as he sees Mustafi and other players, and they're peripheral figures in the team right now. So London Old School says Socrates needs to calm down. I'd give Xhaka a 5 out of 10. Not a good performance at all.
I'm going with a 4 out of below average.
Alongside, I'll take this first as well. Alongside Xhaka, Torreira, I thought he tried pretty hard, tried very well, but he was just being played out of position. Not sure if he's up to 100% fitness yet, as well. But definitely after the international break, there should be no excuses for Torreira as well. But I would give him a 6.5 out of 10.
I'm going with a 7. It's not being biased. It's just I saw a lot of heart coming from Torreira. And to be honest with you, Ray, don't you think it's a bit weird that Torreira isn't quite like fully match fit yet?
He was the last one who came back from the Copa, so he was behind on preseason as well. Now, moving on to Guendouzi. You can talk about Guendouzi first.
Matteo Guendouzi.
Are you
Uh,
still talking?
what can I say about Matteo
I think when you
Guendouzi?
think about a player, he's going to get a good score.
Matteo gets a six for heart, or 6.5 for heart from me.
So the whole game, he gets 5 or 6 from you for his
Yep,
performance today. I
say
thought he
six and
played
a half.
pretty well. I thought for many people he was man of the match. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I thought he was the person who tried the most in midfield. He took on the responsibility of taking the ball and trying to carry it to our forwards. He did have an assist to Aubameyang for that equalizing
Beautiful.
goal, and I thought he played quite well. I thought he grew into the game. I would give him 8 out of 10.
Okay, you've actually changed my mind now that you've analyzed it a bit more because I was just thinking to myself now, not only the assist, but there was quite a few good recoveries. I'm sure you saw that live with
Yes.
your own very eyes. Few
Yeah.
very, very good recoveries. And I'm not talking about a handful, it was more than a handful.
London Old School agrees he was good today. I would give him 8 out of 10, and I don't think anyone is getting more than 8 out of 10 for me. All right, let's talk about Lacazette. For me, he was the person who dragged us back into the game with that performance, and he's showing the fight needed, and he's actually convincing me that he's a candidate to be captain for whatever that for what that means. For any more in modern football, does it mean anything? No, probably not. But I would give him
We
8 out of 10. Combined with Gunduzi, one of my players of the game.
I'm fully agreeing with you on that. And on the same note, I'm saying that Lacazette should be captain, if not for Socrates. Somebody that just gives us that either in the forward line or to hold back the defense and say, listen here, Torreira, Ceballos, just sit. Or, sorry, Torreira, Xhaka, sit. Ceballos will assist with the attack up front. I mean, we even had Mickey in the squad, but we'll give him also a rating after all the main players.
All right, Nicola Pepe, you go first.
I'm going to give him a solid 7. A lot of pace, a lot of quick touches. If he had his shooting boots on, could have possibly scored 2 goals. I'm sure you saw that shot also. I think there was a few beautiful shots. And if not for Hugo Lloris making an incredible making, where's my English gone? Making an incredible save. It still could have been a different game, as we always say.
Hey, can you can you speak about the pivot again, like you did on the pregame show?
Oh, are you talking about the midfield pivot? Midfield pivot of
How did you feel the midfield forward was?
Look, to be honest with you, there wasn't enough in that midfield pivot. Okay, there we go. Just for you, right? My subscribers.
I think we're going to use this going forward this season. We're going to at least use that word pivot.
Oh, goodness. I
PIVOT
love that I use the word pivot and
means pervert.
I love that I can use that word because it describes two players working together in the midfield.
Yeah.
That
Pervert.
obviously guard the back, most importantly, and provide for the front, our front attackers, which,
So
like you
London
say,
also.
best in the league. If just below Aguero and Aguero, Sterling, and like Jesus, like De Bruyne. People are saying
So
Mane, Salah, Firmino, but
if you're
those are
watching,
those in third place.
if you're watching this on playback, do listen to the pre-game show where we talk about the midfield pervert or pivot.
Yeah, this guy is on form, eh? He's on form.
So
Oh,
let me get back to Pepe. I thought I would give him a 7 out of 10 as well. I think, like London Old School, he will do good things once he adjusts to the pace of the Premier League. I feel like he's going to have a lot of games like this where teams will set up defensively to shut out his speed. We didn't see that as much today playing at home, and that's a thing that he's going to have to adjust his game for a little bit as well. Trying to combine, he should combine more with Lacazette and Aubameyang. And I thought also, Mahir, there was a couple of opportunities, especially early in the first half, where Lacazette took a shot. He could have played Pepe in on the right side.
yeah, I mean, there was a few opportunities I saw also, like you said, where I thought all you need to do is put the ball in the box in a good spot. But there were a few opportunities. We didn't take those opportunities, and we've dropped 2 points very
We
unfortunately.
paid
But
for it due to the coach. We're going to say due to the coach because of his selection policy in midfield, especially sticking
come
with
on, seriously,
Saka.
put Willa next to Torreira. Then a you can put Doozy there, and you can watch Doozy, little Doozy Vert. What is what they call him, a little Doozy.
Little Doozy,
Uh,
little Louise.
yeah, Lil Doozy. He can make people go in a doozy if he's
Well, I want to
given the.
see, I want to see Torreira and Willock in the pervert.
Yes, with Ceballos playing in the number 10.
Yeah,
I'm actually interested to see as a side note, Ray, if Ozil hasn't played yet. So
he was on
what's
the
happening?
bench today.
Is he just going to be sitting and earning the money until he moves to the MLS end of season, or
Yeah, yep, pretty much. Yeah. Um,
like is it possible to put him in? Do you think he'll have any impact? Like people are talking a good game about him pre-season, and he's not being played anymore. So I don't know what's the
well,
whole buzz.
after the international break, we do have games coming thick and fast in the midweek. We will have Europa League games. I think he may feature a lot in Europa League games. We're going to have some cup games. I think he'll be involved in that. And I don't know if he's going to be ready to play Premier League games just yet.
You see, that's the problem also about Ozil. When
I
can you
don't,
pick and as a player with player power becoming a major problem in the whole of soccer, the
yeah.
whole entire from Europe all the way down to the UK? Where do you get to pick and choose? And when you do get to pick and choose, you suffered an injury in your tiny baby toe by having a spasm playing Fortnite or doing too much
Well,
of
well,
other
Emery,
activities.
Emery is picking the team, and Ozil will probably come into it in the Europa League.
Uh,
That's the way I
anyway,
see it.
anyway,
But because of
anyway,
Emery picking this team today in midfield with Granit Xhaka, who should not be in the team, Torreira being played out of position, in my opinion, and Guendouzi was the star of midfield for us today. Now, finally, Aubameyang. How do you rate Aubameyang? He did pop up to score the goal in the second half, so he's got to get a pretty decent score, right?
Aubameyang probably gets an 8 from me,
Eight.
popping up with a goal. We really needed that, and I just wish there was somebody to compliment him. You can't compliment him with bringing on the likes of a Mkhitaryan, for example. Like you said during the game, you and I were talking about it, and you were saying I would not put Mkhitaryan anywhere near the squad. He didn't have a bad game. He didn't have a terrible game.
He actually played quite well. So yeah, let's get into it. We can talk about substitutes as well. I thought Mkhitaryan played quite well. I would give him probably 7 out of 10. He actually put in a better performance than we've been used to seeing him. So maybe coming off of the bench is the way to play Mkhitaryan.
A nice way to send these players off that are not good enough for us would be for them to show us what they have in the other competitions. Maybe win a cup and then leave. So for example, maybe try and play a big part role in. I know it's a lot to expect, but personally, if I think about it, I would love for them to play a big time role in something like winning us Europa League, winning us a Carabao Cup, an FA Cup, or you know, just just something, just to show us that look here, thank you for supporting us all these years and loving us and being fully behind us, even though you guys slate us so much. But we're gonna leave you with a little something, like Ozil's not good enough, but the least he can do is when he does come on, have a major impact. He's supposed to be our linchman, basically. You know that,
Yeah,
right?
our talisman.
I'll
Um,
tell it.
what about Ceballos when he came on?
Oh, change the game. Change the game, bro.
Yeah,
Change the game. Had a lovely
completely turned the flow of the game completely in our direction, and we had probably in the middle part of the second half we had great opportunities that just after we equalized with Aubameyang. Great opportunities for, and actually the goal from Oba came 8 minutes after Ceballos came on.
That's the problem with having the mindset. We don't know what Emery is thinking by doing all of these because maybe like last week, London Old School saying it. We would like to see more of Martinez,
Martinelli,
Martinelli.
yeah, on the left.
Um,
Yeah,
we don't know enough about him, but what I'm saying is basically on the point of we don't know what he's thinking right now. Last week, he may have been saving Lacazette for like today. And today you could see also like he's still suffering from a niggle, which where did he actually pick up this slight injury
yeah.
from?
It seems to be an ankle problem that's ongoing. Now, I do hope that in 2 weeks that it can clear up a bit, but maybe Lacazette knows his own body and needed to come off at that point in time. But bring Martinelli on instead of Mkhitaryan on the left side, and then you have a little bit more going forward.
Yeah, you have a little bit more. That's a decent point. No, I never thought of it during the game. He just corrected himself now. It's okay, London Old School. We still love
Also,
you. That's actually a very brilliant point. Martinelli can play on the left though, as well as a winger, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
I don't know much
Yeah,
about him, but
hopefully he does get his chance in Europa. I feel like we don't know Unai Emery though. You're saying we're getting clues, but I feel like it's a new season. It's almost like it's first season again. We don't know what Unai Emery's going to do, what kind of team he's putting out. But Alex seems to have a beat on him saying Granit Xhaka will be in the lineup irrespective. Now, hopefully that changes in the next few weeks.
needs to change quite drastically. Um, but I feel that, maybe he thinks that we don't have enough depth, as per se. So instead of trusting the likes of a Joe Willock, just putting some faith in the youth and keeping them on a good run of form. We've said many a times actually, even our subscribers will I'd love to ask them, you know, or tell them that consistency is very key. Those are one of the things we loved about Nacho before he left. He was very consistent. We knew what we were getting as soon as he comes onto the pitch or starts a game, for example. We know that, okay, we're not going to get too many heart attacks because we know every time somebody runs down that side, Nacho's got them. He's got them in his sights. He's not letting them go.
And
He
hopefully
may not.
Tierney can be that person to step in and be consistent as
That,
well.
that's exactly why we're so anxious, Ray. We're so anxious for Tierney. Not even Bellerin as much, but we would love him also to be back. But Tierney to provide cover on that side. So even I mean we even like I know it's nowhere near the next transfer season, but we're thinking ahead and saying, can we rather get another can we get another right back?
Yeah,
Just in case something happens to Bellerin, but also of quality, like somebody like a Tierney, but who we can start week in, week out, and be solid on that right hand side. And then possibly even the likes of a Rob Holding coming in the mid in the as a centre back and moving David Luiz to his natural position also. So we'll have Torreira, we'll have Xhaka. We'll get him sold somehow. Don't worry about that. I got that covered. Your co-host. Um,
and
we'll
him,
have Rob,
yeah,
we'll
take
have
him
Rob
carefully.
Holding. We'll have sorry, in midfield, we'll have Torreira, we'll have Willock, we'll have David Luiz, we'll have Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and those are natural midfielders.
Just okay. So top four watch. We were watching for United who dropped points. Chelsea dropped points, and here we are with drop points. This is why I'm a little bit pissed off. We had an
Yep.
opportunity to separate, to get some decent points, to get a win before this break, and now we have to sit on this bad taste, for a couple of weeks.
Look, Ray, you have every right. Pretty good has every right to be angry and pissed off, basically, because of this result. But the way we look at it sometimes is we've discussed many a times. This is a side. This is like life basically, where we're so positive, or we expect so much. Maybe at some point we should just lower our expectations, not to a dirt level. I'm not talking about Banta AFC, them being them. But what I'm saying is, and going overboard, what I'm saying is just to try and take it as it comes. Take every game as it comes, because not a lot of the games, not every game is a walk in the park. Our old squad, I'm talking about the legends, uh, the Campbells and the Vieiras and the Burkhams, and earlier than that, the Adamses of the world, all of those players, basically their mentality used to scare the living daylights of every single team they used to play against. But unfortunately, we can't expect that right now, as we're just rebuilding, and we just have to take. Um, London Old School saying still confident of top four.
Yeah,
Yes, still I'm still pretty confident top four
yeah.
with the squad that we have, with the players we're getting back. I mean, let's just see how it goes. Let's just be optimistic. Let's be positive. I know you're angry. I'm not that angry, even though it is to our fiercest rivals. I mean, we hate them, they hate us. Everything about, we don't associate ourselves with anybody on those lines. Even if you're friends with somebody who supports Tottenham, or who shall not be named, actually.
And
Um,
let me tell you, the referee was very keen not to send anyone off, even though there was definitely circumstances where it could have been the case. Danny Rose, especially.
I was just I was just looking at that when I was watching, and I was saying, these guys are racking up yellow cards. Lamela gets a yellow card. Ericsson gets a yellow card. Somebody else gets a yellow card. I'm like, it's just by time that somebody makes a stupid mistake, and it takes us all the way to the bank. You know.
Yeah. London Old School, why does VAR not show diving? And why are players not yellow carded for diving? Of course, I'm talking about Harry Kane, who feels a touch on his back and he's going down in the penalty box. Am I here?
Ray, Ray, did you see anything wrong with that? Like, to be honest with you, I'm watching the game so closely, right? And my eyes are not going anywhere, for example. And I didn't see anything. And all I see is the referee pointing to the spot, and I'm thinking to myself, what? What? Look, VAR's a mess. Our refs are a mess. We are just analysts. We just do this for the love of Arsenal, and sometimes things are just unexplainable. Let's just leave it at that.
We are just fellow fans who do
Yeah,
this for the love of the game, for the
we
love of
can
our
talk.
club, for the love of
We
Jesus.
we can talk hours about our club, about anything, and even with our fans and our subscribers, we can talk for hours, literally, about arguing about these kind of decisions. But it's all luck of the draw. It's like, I don't know whether it's the refs, whether it's VAR, which we've already scrapped in our minds. But even with refs, they can make mistakes. And we've said with Alex, they tend to be biased towards the clubs. We know some of them actually support these clubs that come onto the pitch while they're refereeing, our opposition. And yeah, results don't go away. No luck of the draw. And today we ended up with that. Exactly. A draw. 2 points dropped.
2 points dropped. And Unai Emery, I'm going to say it again. Unai Emery has cost us because he is somehow enamored with Granit Xhaka, and people say, why do you have to give Granit Xhaka a hard time? Well, it's on days like this. It's like last year against Brighton, he did the same thing, conceded a penalty. He did it at Crystal Palace away from home, and he did it at Wolverhampton Wanderers when they played at the Emirates last season, giving the ball away and conceding a goal because of that. Um,
We have even the Champions League on the very last day of the Premier League. The very last day. That is totally unacceptable. Like really, Emery most of the time puts his trust in the players, and the players don't live up to expectation because they just don't have the correct mentality. We've discussed it with Sunny, we've discussed it with James Rowe. All these guys are our friends and our brothers. We discussed it on at least 20 out of 24 episodes of our first season. And not having the correct mentality. For example, in life, if you do not have the correct mentality, if you don't wake up and have gratitude and say today is going to be a great day, it's going to be a bad day. You're going to get somebody that's going to tick you off and you're going to swear them or end up in a fight or end up getting fired or end up resigning. And what that leads to is it's got a butterfly effect, basically. So the players not having correct mentality leads to the coach making bad mistakes, leads to our players making bad mistakes, which leads to us not making top four, which means we can't sign the players that we actually really need. You see that butterfly effect, and it goes for life as well, guys.
yeah. So we
Crazy.
looked at this month, Matt. Here we looked at this month. We knew the start of our season, the first four games were going to be difficult. We really now, in hindsight, winning at Newcastle was very good. We beat Burnley at home, 6 points out of six. Well, we have to. We would be remiss of us not to mention we've only gotten 1 point from six points in these last two games. Not good enough, in my opinion.
Not good enough in my opinion. It's
Um,
just one of the things.
we've conceded two more goals, so we need to
I would,
stop conceding goals.
I would have loved to be in. I mean, you heard the voice notes I sent you as we do talk on a regular basis during games and after games, before games, whenever the case, in the weekend, on the week, about all these type of things. And you heard the happiness in my voice, the way I was screaming and shouting when we managed to equalize. I mean, score one, go back, and then go equalize.
Hmm.
I would have loved to been celebrating with you right now and with Alex and London Old School and Rising 101, all our new subscribers, old subscribers, day ones. But it's one of those things that's going to leave a bitter taste in our mouth for the next
Yeah, a
2 weeks.
little bit depressing now the way you're summing that up. Now we go forward. Let's talk briefly about Watford away from home, and then we'll close out the show. Um,
Okay.
on the 15th of September, exactly 2 weeks from now, we'll be talking. We'll be having a podcast. We'll all be right back here at this spot, and we will have played Watford away from home. Your prediction?
Too early, bro. Too early, bro.
Will we get a W? Will we lose?
Like my nephew always says, look, he says, look, uncle, it's a W. Always catching W. So let's go and catch a W at Watford. Hopefully the guys come back
That's
with
a
some
W.
cover. You know, this is a
And we're
family
gonna
show.
we're gonna
Referring
all,
to Vini.
all reactions. The next two games will be Watford away from home, and will be Aston Villa at home, and they will be 4:30 kickoffs on Sunday. So we will be going online, doing our blog right after those shows.
And maybe a pre-game, for everybody that joins in and us and supports us.
You see, London Old School could tell me what you couldn't tell me.
We should beat Watford. They started badly.
London
Thumbs up,
Old School. I
like.
need a new co-host. London Old School, come on board.
I'm sorry, guys. This will be my last show. It's a pleasure. Thank you to all our special guests.
Seriously though, on a serious note, to close out the show, anybody who's in the comments section watching us on playback, who's a subscriber, who's a non-subscriber, they're always welcome to come on the show. Contact us. Um, contact my here at Gunded News. or
Peace.
contact me on Twitter, Arsenal at Arsenal Circle, or drop a comment in the comments section. London Old School got a kick out of that. But yeah, to sum it up, my here, and I'll leave you with the last word. Everybody smash that like button if you're watching on playback. If you're new to the channel and you're not signed up yet, sign up for the first team. Hit that subscriber button, bell notification. You know what to do. Just do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
Yeah, just do it. Do
What
it.
other channel gives you the pervert in midfield?
Yeah, guys, like I'm saying, Raymond and I, we love having you guys join in live and watch the reruns. I'm sure you guys have a lot of extra spare time, after work and after family, most importantly. And, we just love having all our special guests. And, in the future, Ray, what we can also do is we can include like how we used to do international reactions. We should actually have fan reactions. Let them send in their videos to us
That's a
and
great idea.
them our show because personally, even like our day ones like London Old School, our special guests, Rising 101, who's new to us, who's joined the family,
Mhm.
I would love to see their reactions and they have them also call in and join us on a video call and have them also on as guests because this is what makes our podcast for the fans, by the fans, for the supporters, by the supporters.
I
Because
think I heard that
this
somewhere before.
this is exactly what not only helps us, but people people love this. People love interaction with constant interaction,
Yeah.
always constantly pre-game, post-game, player ratings, which those that's another concept that we're gonna include. But imagine seeing these people's reactions, and I'm sure they would love to also join in on the calls and call in with us and have them vent and you know.
Yeah,
But
and
I mean, like
I think what I
you know,
might do is put together a call out video or a call in video. I think a lot of people like that, where you get the views from various fans around the world. But listen, we'll leave it for there.
yeah,
Leave it right there for this week. We will, I think, like most Gooners, we're going to go and do our own thing next week. We won't have a show next week, but we'll be back 2 weeks from now. Uh, Look after your family. Take care of everybody that you love, and make sure your loved ones love you. Right, my here.
yes. I just want to wish everybody a nice for the rest of the week. One thing, don't let anybody get on your case. Just have a fantastic week and don't let anything get you down. Don't let anything get you depressed. And always wake up with gratitude. I mean, it's one of these things where you'll just find that you'll have a happier life. I mean, even though there's no football, it's not the end of the world. We will be back as per usual in 2 weeks' time.
Until then, everybody have a great week. Do something fun while you're away. Get away from football for a little bit, and this result will be in a distant memory. And until next time, we will see you soon. From me and from Gundam News, we're out of here. A little bit heartbroken for just a draw, but it's just football. We'll see you
Just
next.